Okay, welcome back to the Penomics Academy, where we make economics simple, practical, and impactful. My name is Eustace Chigode Oswago. I will be your economics tutor or teacher, educator for today. And today we'll be discussing the factors affecting demand, right? In our previous video, we talked about the meaning of demand, the difference between effective and ineffective demand, and also we have discussed the four types of demand. But today we'll be talking of the factors affecting or influencing demand. Okay, demand for a commodity depends on several factors that influence how much consumers are willing and able to buy. So today we'll focus on 5 major factors. Right? We have over 15 factors that are affecting demand, but we are going to discuss 5 major factors. Okay. First, we have price of the commodity. Wow. Price of the commodity. You agree with me that when you go to the market and the price you have in mind to purchase a particular product or a commodity, when that price changes, your quantity which you want to buy or demand will decrease. And when the price falls, what you want to buy will increase. I believe you agree with me. So price of the commodity influence the decision of the consumers. From the video we have here, we have two individuals. One, the price fell from 6,000 to 3,005 and demand increases. And the second individual in the market, the price rises from 3,500 to 6,000 naira and demand decreases. We all have always experienced things like this in the market. When you go to the market and you realize that, okay, I have 100,000 naira and I want to use this 100,000 to buy 5 bags of rice at 20,000 naira each. Now getting to the market, we realize that, wow, price of rice has fallen down to 10,000 naira. It totally means I will not be buying 20 bags of rice. Now I'll be buying, I will not be buying 5 bags of rice. I'll be buying 10 bags because initially it was 20,000 for 5 bags of rice, right? 20,000 naira each bag of rice. So if I have 100,000 naira, I'll be buying 5 bags of rice. But now the price of rice fell to 10,000 naira and I'll be buying 10 bags of rice. So this is an increase in demand, and there will be a decrease if price rises from 10,000 naira to 20,000 naira, right? Another factor affecting demand is what we call income of the consumer. One way or the other, for those who are working, who are receiving salary, stipends, and all of that, those are income of the consumer. When your income increases, you tend to buy more of items. So that is to say, as income increases, demand increases, right? And as income reduces, demand reduces. So either way, when we have more money, we tend to buy more clothing, more food, better food. But when our income reduces, which is not enough for our desire, so we tend to buy less clothing and less food. Another example is taste and fashion. Now, taste and fashion has to do with preference. Preference in the sense that we all make choices, right? We all make choices. And that is why in economics, there's what we call the scale of preference. And this happened because of scarcity, limited resources. And when there are limited resources, we just have no choice but to make choice. Oh, I love that word. We have no choice but to make choice. And making choice, we have to draw a scale of preference, right? And drawing a scale of preference is according to its importance. So when we talk of scale, taste and fashion, it's just like preference, right? I may decide that, oh, I love shirt and trouser better than polo and jean. I love rice over beans. These are tastes. These are your taste. These are desires. And if, let's take for instance, 100% of people, out of 100% of people, 70% prefer shirts and plain trousers. That is to say, the remaining 30% prefer polo and jean, right? So the demand for shirt and trouser increases which is taste and fashion has affected demand positively in the sense that 70% of people prefer shirt and trouser rather than polo and jean, right? So as our income increases, we still demand more because of taste and our fashion. And as it reduces, as our income reduces, we demand less. Now, lastly, we have we have price of related commodity. Now, price of limited commodity, if you watch my video when we talked about the types of demand, I mentioned substitute demand. Now, this substitute demand can also be factors affecting or influencing the choices of consumers, right? Now, price of related commodities can be price of substitute commodities. Now, let's take, for instance, when the price of one good increases, the consumers fall to the substitute goods, right? Now, for instance, I can use, when we talk of detergent, when the price of clean increases, we may decide to buy Viva or Omo. Or when the price of Viva or Omo increases, we may decide to buy clean. When the price of butter increases, we may decide to buy margarine. So as price of related commodities are increasing, people tend to fall to the substitute commodity because the substitute will still give you same satisfaction as the first commodity. Now, lastly, we have what we call population. Population affects demand in the sense that more population will require more demands or trigger more demands, and less population will trigger less demand. Now, take for instance, two women selling bean cake at two different locations. One is selling at a busy area somewhere in, let's assume somewhere in Alaba market, where different group of people enter there. They come there. The crowd there is so much that everybody or most people come there to purchase one thing or the other, and this woman can sell up to 3 or 4, 5 models of bean or bean cake, right? Because of the population of that particular area. But the woman in an isolated area where less people walk through or less people come around, she may not be able to sell up to even 2 models of beans. Thank you once again for watching. You are always welcome to the Penomics Academy. At this point, we'll bring our lesson to an end. Our advice, you research on other factors that affects demand. There are so many factors, about 15 factors or more, right? We have, additionally, we have what we call government policy, inflation. We have, what is it again? Yeah, government policy, inflation. We have, we have age distribution, right? We have credit facilities, storage facilities. There's just so many of them. So you can go make your research on other factors that are affecting demand. You're always welcome to the Penomics Academy. Thank you.